I first discovered this poem when I was a student and having to write essays about the visual arts. A bit like the question, who made God? The question, what is art, leads to a perpetual tail-chasing, or does if you let it. So it was good to find Kipling's sardonic devil's advocacy to pepper chapter headings in a frail attempt to appear scholarly. I was disappointed to discover today that Thatcher quoted a verse of it in a speech to the Royal Academy banquet in 1980. But I'm not a petty person. Vengeful, yes, but I don't believe the dead are sentient. Besides, I never could dance. A couple of notes, perhaps. A surplice peg is a shape device for clergy to hang their frocks on in the vestry of a church. What is meant by the line, we have learned to bottle our parents twain in the yolk of an addled egg, is not definitively known as far as I know. It's embedded in a verse that's about things being back to front, the tail wagging the dog and the cart before the horse. Trivial matters taking precedence over weightier. The poem predates the discovery of Mendel's work on genetics, but some believe he's referring to the selective breeding of animals, which of course has been practiced for millennia. Personally, I think it's more likely to be a reference to the artificial insemination of humans, the first recorded case being performed in 1780 by Scottish surgeon and scientist John Hunter, who incidentally taught and worked with Edward Jenner, who lived down the road from here in Berkeley, and developed a vaccine against smallpox. In 1884, a donor's sperm was used to inseminate a woman, and by the 1920s, sperm banks were being set up. When he wrote the poem in 1890, Kipling would have been well aware of the procedure. We could do with an Edward Jenner again now. The Conundrum of the Workshops. When the flush of a newborn sun first fell on Eden's green and gold, our father Adam sat under the tree and scratched with a stick in the mould. And the first rude sketch that the world had seen was a joy to his mighty heart, till the devil whispered behind the leaves, "It's pretty, but is it art?" Wherefore he called to his wife and fled to fashion his work anew, the first of his race who cared a fig for the first most dread review. And he left his law to the use of his sons, and that was a glorious gain, when the devil chuckled, "Is it art?" in the ear of the branded Cain. They builded a tower to shiver the sky, and wrench the stars apart, till the devil grunted behind the bricks, "It's striking, but is it art?" The stone was dropped by the quarry side, and the idle derrick swung, while each man talked of the aims of art, and each in an alien tongue. They fought and they talked in the north and the south, they talked and they fought in the west, till the waters rose on the jabbering land, and the poor red clay had rest till the dank blank canvas dawn, when the dove was preened to start, and the devil bubbled below the keel. It's human, but is it art? The tale is as old as the Eden tree, as new as the new-cut tooth, for each man knows ere his lip-thatch grows, he is master of art and truth. And each man hears as the twilight nears, to the beat of his dying heart, the devil drum on the darkened pane. You did it, but was it art? We have learned to whittle the Eden tree to the shape of a surplice peg. We've learned to bottle our parents twain in the yolk of an addled egg. We know that the tail must wag the dog as the horse is drawn by the cart. But the devil whoops as he whooped of old. It's clever, but is it art? When the flicker of London's sun falls faint on the clubrooms green and gold, The sons of Adam sit them down and scratch with their pens in the mould. They scratch with their pens in the mould of their graves, and the ink and the anguish start when the devil mutters behind the leaves, "It's pretty, but is it art?" Now if we could win to the Eden tree where the 4 great rivers flow, and the wreath of Eve is red on the turf as she left it long ago, and if we could come when the century slept and softly scurry through, by the favour of God we might know as much as our father Adam knew.
As we thrill to the magic charms of you, beside me here beneath the blue, our dream of love is coming true. Within